What is up, you guys? Today I'm going to be telling you the story of that time I dislocated my thumb at elementary school. And how I almost had to get surgery. So, this is going to be a quick video. The story starts out, I'm just at school, you know, at indoor recess, because it was raining out, doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, right? So, then back then I was a jackass, and I'll just get straightforward. I was, like, crawling, like, literally crawling, like a mental person, on the ground, and then I leaped up, so I'm crawling, and then I jumped up, and then my finger slipped, and then, or my thumb slipped, and I landed wrong, I jumped up, and I landed wrong, and then my thumb twisted, and I looked down at it, and it was all twisted up, and it looked like, I still got a picture of it, I'll put it in the thumbnail. So, yeah, I dislocated my thumb, and from being a jackass. So then, I get the lunch lady to walk me down, or the lunch aide, to the nurse, which the nurses don't do shit, unless you really have to. So basically, I get to the nurse, and I'm asking the nurses, am I gonna need surgery? And then they said, no, probably not, because my worst fear is surgery. And I'm asking all the nurses, am I going to need surgery? And then she's like, oh, no, that would be unnecessary. And then I'm like, I lay in the bed for like an hour until my mom gets there. And then some friends and whatnot, and teachers, I won't say anything, come down, comfort me and whatnot, because I'm all shooken up because it kind of hurts and I don't want surgery. So then I get there, my mom's like, time to go to the ER. And then I'm like, oh god. And then, so we get there, and I'm asking the receptionist, am I going to need surgery? The receptionist probably doesn't have no medical knowledge. And then they're like, no, probably not. Then we get to the nurse, who takes me into a little room, gets my blood pressure, whatnot. I ask her, am I going to need surgery? She says, no, probably not. And then I hit my head, and I think, am I going to need brain surgery? And she's like, I'm not kidding. I think I lifted up my head under a table in one of those offices, and I asked if I needed brain surgery. So then, and then I'm like, so she takes me to an admitting office, or not admitting office, like a doctor's, like a room, an exam room or whatnot, and then we wait, of course, like that classic 2-hour wait for the doctor. The doctor gets there, does a bunch of things, looks at it, whatnot, and then it happens. Then a nurse comes in like an hour later, and I think his name was Mike, and then he comes in, and then he says, alright, we're gonna get this thing back in, and then, so then, I'm like, okay, just do it, and then he's like, no, we need to sedate it, we need to inject some, like, morphine or whatnot in your thumb, and I'm like, oh my god, it's in a needle, and I hate needles so much. Like, I'm strongly hate needles, not an anti-vax, like Karen, I'm just saying I hate needles, so, then I go, I start crying, like, very loudly, like, the guy gets his walkie-talkie, for some reason he had one, and then he's like, get in here, to some other guy, and then some creepy old guy, I'm not kidding, in a coat, like a bald guy, walks in, and then the nurse says to him, hold him down, and then he holds my hand down and injects me for 30 seconds with this super painful syringe, and it hurts like hell, and that was still one of the worst pains I've ever felt. And then he starts to try to get back in, and he can't get it back in, like he's having trouble, and I'm like he's having trouble getting it back in, and and then he's like keeps doing it, and then my mom, and then he's like, eventually he's like, alright, because, and then there's this one doctor that's like an orthopedic guy, and he knows everything, and he could probably get it back in one take, but he wasn't available, so then they said, we're gonna have to do an OR check on him, which means operating room, and which means surgery, which translates to me getting even more upset. So I was crying more than ever now, and I sounded like a little mentally not there child. And then I'm going all buck wild, crying, whatnot, because I think I'm gonna have the surgery. And then my mom says, Mom will get the finger back in. And then the guy gets more determined, like Mike or whatever his name is. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get this back in. And then he does. And then I look at my thumb and I'm moving and I'm like, oh, thank God, no surgery. So all in all, guys, it was my mom's. My mom was the reason that my thumb is normal now, and I did not have to get operated on. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash that like button for more videos like these. We upload new content every day. Peace out.